Да, самолет въебали. Ебать!
During a night attack on November 25th, the Ukrainian Defense Forces struck the Russian A-60 aircraft, a flying laboratory for testing laser weapons, in Taganrog. According to video and photos from local witnesses, the target of the Ukrainian strike was the GM Beriev Aviation Scientific and Technical Facility and the Taganrog South Air Base, which serves as the company's main test base. The Beriev Aviation Plant specializes in the development, serial production, modernization, and repair of amphibious aircraft and special-purpose aviation complexes, including the A-50 airborne early warning and control aircraft. The plant also performs major repairs on aircraft for the Russian Navy aviation and modernizes two 95 MSM strategic bomber missile carriers. The enterprise is part of the JSC United Aircraft Corporation of the Russian state corporation Rostec. Analyzing one of the attack videos, observers concluded that during the strike, the Soviet-Russian A-60 flying laboratory with registration number RA-86879, based on the Il-76MD military transport aircraft, was hit and possibly completely destroyed. The aircraft became the carrier of an aviation version of a megawatt laser, planned for deployment in space as the 17F-19D Scythe-D. To accommodate the laser system, the Il-76's base design underwent significant modifications. During the project, only 2 experimental samples of this system were built in the USSR. The struck A-60 had been stationary for many years at the Taganrog South Air Base. Additionally, as noted by Exilanova Plus, during today's attack, a hangar at the aviation plant used for the maintenance and modernization of Russian Tu-95MS strategic bombers into the Tu-95MSM version was hit. These bombers are capable of carrying more Kh-101 cruise missiles, which the occupiers used to strike Ukraine. Ukrainian drones also launched a massive attack on Russia's Krasnodar region during the night, with targets including Novorossiysk, Sochi, and Gelendzhik. It was also reported that simultaneously with the drone attack in Novorossiysk, a voice alert was triggered about other types of emergencies. Local authorities claimed that this occurred due to unauthorized interference with the city's alert system. The re-education of the Russian occupier was quick and successful.
Путин кто? Путин кто? О, перевоспитали, блядь, уже не говорит президент.
А это он просто этот, понял? Толстолобика украинского стал. Бля, сало бы. У меня есть ложка.
From the latest letter by Igor Girkin, Strelkov, one of Russia's well-known war criminals and ultra-nationalist critics of the Kremlin, it becomes clear that even the most radical supporters of the war recognize Russia's degradation. He claims that Russia's limited military gains and Trump's points have created a misleading impression that peace may come soon, although this is untrue and no agreements will happen. So, what do we have? We have military successes, although quite limited, that have overlapped with Trump's points and again created some illusion of a quick deal, although there is no sign of it not only now but also in the medium to long term at all. I can note that the expectation of a quick peace has even penetrated into our ranks of the condemned, although it is perceived skeptically by almost everyone who is really capable of thinking. In this regard, the next disappointment lowers the already low motivation of society to steadfastly endure the hardships and deprivations of the special military operation, and these pessimistic moods will only grow, and the remnants of trust in the authorities, already very insignificant, will quickly evaporate. This will, of course, be facilitated not only by growing economic and, accordingly, social problems, but also by increasing strikes, by drones and missiles, from former respected partners, which our media stubbornly and foolishly conceal in more than 90% of cases, giving ample ground for the same growth of distrust in the authorities and the rejection of any official state propaganda by the masses. And this, in the conditions of a civil, in essence, war, is the most dangerous. Ukraine and the U.S. issued a joint statement following peace talks in Geneva, affirming that any future agreement must fully respect Ukraine's sovereignty and ensure a just and lasting peace. An updated framework document has been prepared. Kyiv thanked the U.S. and President Trump for efforts to end the war. Work on joint proposals will continue in coordination with European partners, with final decisions left to the presidents. A new Vandenberg coalition poll shows 72% of Trump voters support helping Ukraine and holding Russia accountable. Over half back sending intel or even Tomahawk missiles to strike inside Russia. Just 16% support Russia's demand for more territory. Meanwhile, 83% want to uphold U.S. commitments to NATO and Ukraine. A barrage of at least 22 Russian missiles targeted Ukraine overnight, with at least one striking the capital, Kyiv, in what the Ukrainian Minister of Energy called a massive attack on energy infrastructure. Russia also fired overnight at least 460 drones, several of which flew into either Moldova or Romania, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said early on Tuesday. That is why all partners must not forget that everyday lives need to be saved, Zelensky said on social media. Weapons and air defense are important. Just as important is the sanction pressure on the aggressor. 6 people were killed and another 13 were injured in Ukraine, Zelensky said. Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko earlier said 2 people were killed and 7 others were injured. The missile and drone attack followed negotiations in Switzerland over the weekend on a United States proposed Russia-Ukraine peace plan. The strike also followed a secret meeting on Monday between U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll and a Russian delegation in Abu Dhabi, a U.S. official told ABC News. Last night, Russia launched another attack, at a time when Ukraine, together with America, Europe, and many others around the world, are working virtually around the clock to stop the bloodshed, Zelensky said on social media. Russian drones entered the airspace of Romania and Moldova during a large-scale attack on Ukraine on the morning of November 25th. The Ukrainian Air Force reported this, and the Romanian Ministry of Defense has also confirmed it. In addition to drones, Russia used various types of missiles to strike Ukrainian cities. Several Russian UAVs in the Odessa region near the border with Moldova, possible state border crossing, the Air Force reported at 7:44 a.m. 6 minutes later, the military also noted that at least one Russian drone had likely crossed the border into Romania. In the morning, Romania's Ministry of Defense reported that military radars had detected an aerial target, a Russian UAV, heading toward the country's airspace near Tulcea County. And at 6:28 a.m., 2 German Eurofighter Typhoon jets were scrambled from the Mihail Kogolniceanu Air Base to monitor the situation. The drone crossed into Romanian airspace from the direction of Vilcove, Ukraine, toward the Chilia Vece area in Tulcea County. At 6:55 a.m., a row alert warning was issued in the area of Tulcea County. At 7:11 a.m., the Eurofighter Typhoon reported radar contact with the target over Ukrainian territory, outside Romania's airspace. Later, at 7:37 a.m., 2 F-16 fighter jets took off to respond to the situation, and at 7:48 a.m., a row alert was also issued for Galați County. Already at 7:50 a.m., radars detected a second intrusion into Romanian airspace in the area of Galați County, and an F-16 had radar contact with it. It is currently unknown whether the fighters or air defense systems shot down any Russian drones over Romanian territory. Russian drones have repeatedly violated the airspace of Romania and Moldova during strikes on Ukraine. For example, during the night of November 18th to 19th, German and Romanian fighter jets were scrambled to intercept Russian drones that entered Romanian territory.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comments section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.